Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Sabrina Kanata. I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about today's event. Just so everybody knows, I am the current Secretary of Student Engagement for SGA. So I've been working on a career simulation series for this past semester. And luckily, with me today, I have Kimberly Noy and Jeff Vickers to help me make that process come true. They'll be presenting with you today a game of life, and I'm super excited for it. And I hope all of you guys have a super fun experience with it. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to participate. So, yeah, with that, I hand it off to Jeff or Kimberly for you guys to go ahead and just start.
Thank you. So, as Sabrina mentioned, I'm Kimberly Noy. I'm the program manager for the financial wellness program. We have two of our financial wellness coaches, well, all of our financial wellness coaches here today, Erica and Michelle. We're super excited to see this presentation. So, thank you for being here, and go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you, Kimberly, and I'm so happy to be able to partner with you all and just such a great team at FIU and putting together this presentation I think it's so fun because you really get to have the real life experience. You get to evaluate those decisions that we have to make day to day when we think about adulting. You have to evaluate needs, wants, you have to make trade-offs and really decide what's going to be the correct decision to make. And sometimes it may not be a correct decision, but or bad or correct decision, but it can be a decision that may put you closer to achieving your financial goals, or a decision that may set those goals further back. So that's why we did the presentation last week, to kind of set a foundation where we talked about setting goals and kind of harnessing some of those impulse decisions that we often make. But it's going to be a fun workshop, and it's just really something to make you think. So take your time, and let's look at first. Kim put in the chat box a worksheet. It's called a profile worksheet, and with this particular profile worksheet, we've identified. Let's see. I seem to have lost my screen, and I apologize for that. Okay, I found myself. Okay, on this profile sheet, you'll find that it's a salary of $69,350 a year, which is great. That's within the average first year of a college graduate, which range should be from 50 to 72,000 based on one of the recent surveys that I saw. And on this sheet, you'll find that we have a monthly income, take-home income, that's going to be $4,100 a month. But you'll also see on the sheet that there's a retirement cost that's coming out, and that's going to be contributing to your 401k. Then there's also assessed student loans. I know some of you may say, I don't have student loans, but for this exercise, we're just going to add $400 a month to you already. So if you have those, please let me see a thumbs up in the chat box, or either a thumbs up emoji to let me know that you're ready to move forward to the next slide. Okay, I got some thumbs up. Okay, sounds good. And I think we just had someone join. So for whoever just joined, Kim, will you update them in the chat box? Thank you. And if you do not have the ability to edit the budget worksheet as we move forward, create your own. Just scratch on a notepad, write down the stations, because we're going to attend 13 stations with various options that we're going to have. We're going to have different costs. We want to identify the costs, and we also want to have a running balance. So when we tabulate everything at the end, we'll be able to make some adjustments to our budget. So I will pause there to see if we have any questions from anyone before we begin. Okay, I know it's easy peasy, so let's get started. And this is a real life experience. It's supposed to simulate what your life will look like after you graduate, what decisions you're going to have to make on a day-to-day basis. And now we're in a situation where we're in college. Well, I'm not in college. You're in college, and things are a little bit sheltered. You're not exposed to a lot of things that you're going to have to relate to or deal with once you graduate. So we don't want those things to be a surprise. So we're going to talk about them now. So the first expense that we're going to look at is communication. So we have to decide on how much we're going to spend on our monthly expenses. Are we going to have a Boost mobile phone? Are we going to go with the Apple plan that gives us everything we need for our streaming services? So you're going to have to think about, are you going to use a smartphone? Are you going to go back to a clam phone? Do you need Wi-Fi at your home? Are you going to have cable? Are you going to use streaming services? So what you might want to do is look at some of the bundled packages that we have here to make an informed decision on what you want to have covered. Because you look at some of the plans here, if you go with a bundled package, it can be up to $150 a month. If you just have internet, it can just be $65 a month. And if you have it separate, you can have your phone separate at $40 a month. So look at everything here and make an informed decision on what services you will need to function. And any questions about any of these services that we have here?
So Jeff, so we're using the base salary of the gross yearly salary is 69,350. Monthly take home pay is 4,100. So we're using this base salary. We're kind of making a decision on what we would want to do individually, right?
Correct.
Okay. Awesome.
And you got to keep in mind, you're already $750 is gone from that base salary to cover retirement and student loans. I'm sorry to disadvantage you like that, but that's life. Okay, has everyone had time to review their communication package? One more minute, okay. And take your time, because that's important, because a lot of times when you sign up for these packages, you're going to have a contract with most of them. So it might be a year commitment. And if you break that commitment, you could possibly have a cancellation fee or something like that. So take your time. Don't feel rushed to make a decision. Okay, do we need more time? Are we ready to go to the next station? Thumbs up emojis. Okay, moving on. So now that we have our communication, we have our phones, now we have to decide what we're going to wear. Are we going to have the shoes with the red bottoms? We're going to have the Gucci wear, or are we going to buy clothes from a yard sale, go to a consignment shop? What's important to us? But one of the good things that we have here, we're a discount designer store. So you can get your Christy Louboutins for $150 from us. So that's 2 pair. So think about what you want to do, spend on a monthly basis. In all seriousness, you may not buy clothing on a monthly basis, but this is something that we would annualize. So if you spend money in a department store, you spend $100 a month on clothing, that's $1,200 a year. So that's how we want to look at that and envision it. Because, of course, I don't go to the store and buy clothes every month, but if I annualize it, that's what it will look like broken down on a monthly basis. So think about what your expenses will look like as far as your clothing. And you can ball on a budget. You can look good with thrift store gear, but if you like to have it new, it costs a little bit more. Okay, is everyone still shopping, or everyone's ready to leave the mall? Thumbs up. Okay, we're exiting the mall. I was surprised. I thought we spent more time at the mall, but okay, it's cool. I'm cool with that. Oh my goodness, just like in life, things happen unexpected. We're having bad weather and there's a hailstorm. So the expense to have that your window fixed is $100. So for that unexpected expense, we're subtracting $100, and it happens. We'll move on. Don't want to get hit twice with the same hailstorm. So now we have to think about what our housing would look like once we graduate. Are we going to look at living suburban, or if our jobs in the metro area, we're going to live downtown? So our commute is a lot less. You know, you don't have to have a car if you can walk to work. Or are you going to live rural? Rural is a viable option, but you have to think about the commute time. You're going to have a car. But things are a lot less expensive when you are living further away. So you might also think about, okay, how big of a place does your first place need to be? One bedroom good, or you're going to have a roommate? You're going to have two bedrooms? What works best for you? And then the utilities, we got to think about renter's insurance in case someone's to break in, or you have storm damage to some of your merchandise that you have in your home that you bought from the designer somewhere in the mall. So you have to think about those items as well. So has everyone decided where they're going to live? All right, thumbs up to move forward. Okay. Now that we found the place to live, we got to put some nice furniture in the digs. We're going to get some designer furniture. We're going to get some secondhand furniture, or we're going to take our college furniture with us till we get rolling. What works best. Nothing wrong with having college furniture the first couple of years. Sleeping bags are comfortable too. All right. Has everyone completed their furniture shopping? Thumbs up. Okay. All right. So something we need to think about too is paying ourselves first. When we did the budgeting workshop last week, we talked about saving that rainy day fund, and having that rainy day fund because, if things happen like the hailstorm, we're prepared for those emergencies. And also, we have different financial goals. We talked about short-term financial goals, long-term financial goals. This is a good way for us to put money away for those. So think about how much you want to put away: $10, $25, $50 or more. This is up to you. I think we also talked about the 50-30-20 rule, where if we think about maybe 20% of our income going towards savings. So, we already talked about $350 going towards our retirement. So this might be a place to fill that gap. So think about how much money we want to put in the bank. Okay, has everyone started their savings account yet? Okay, let's see thumbs up. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay, man, things just keep happening. It just keeps rolling up like a ball. But we went out and we forgot the key to the door and left it in the house, and now we need to call a locksmith, and it's $75. which we know $75 is cheaper than breaking the window because it's $100 to replace that. So we got a bargain. So $75 you're hit with because we forgot our lock, our key to our lock. Okay, so enough bad news. So let's move forward. Okay, Michelle, this one's for us, Starbucks. Okay, let's think about how many times a week do we eat out? Is it fast food or is it fine dining, casual, or it's a mixture of both? And then, what about the other things that we do, like the add-ons, like we socialize, we get coffee. I mean, that coffee, that's 3 times for me a day, to make it $15, getting the smoothie. So we got to think about how we're going to, uh, what our meals are going to look like on a day-to-day basis. Are we going to eat out? Are we going to start packing lunches, or what's going to be the best way for us to continue to save money? Did anybody choose fine dining? I love to see a hand. Okay. No Roof Chris or anything like that. Okay. All right. Has everyone chosen their meal plan? Okay. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's think about childcare. Is this a category, if we have kids graduating, you have a kid that's 0 to 2, that can be expensive, or no kids, that's also an option too. But I would look at this: if you plan to have kids in the first 2 years, think about the expense there after graduating. So if you don't have kids, don't worry about putting it. But this is just giving you an idea of what expenses could occur with childcare. But also, you can also think about a nanny. A nanny, that's 2,400. Nanny or manny are viable options as well too. But we will move on. Entertainment. Okay, we have some free options for entertainment. We can go to the library, can bike ride, can go to the park. But one of mine would be recreational membership. Having a gym membership will be important to me. So think about what's important to you. Concerts, bowling. What do you like to do? You're gonna have a social life. Is it just gonna be chilling, Netflix and chill, or are we gonna do things on a monthly basis? All right. Has everyone completely? I'll give it a little bit more time because you really got to think about, what are we going to do for fun? I mean, this last year I've been a homebody, so I've saved a lot of money. Okay. Anybody needs any more time? If you need a little bit more time, put your thumb up. Okay. Let's think about our health insurance. You know, you got to think about coverages. I mean, I know you're young, you're healthy. Insurance isn't something top of mind, but you always have to think about it. Something could happen, like a, a worldwide pandemic or something like that. So it's always good to have medical insurance should something occur. So think about: are you going to have medical only? You're going to have medical dental, um, medical dental vision. That's something that we should all check up on a year basis, and it's only $100 to $200 for one person. Okay. All right. Well, we're about halfway through the stations. So here's an opportunity to get $100. If you can give me an example of a need and a want, you can either speak out or type it in the chat box, and Kimberly can read them. But love to hear from everybody an example of a need and a want. You can think back to some of the things we've gone over already, or things that you think of off the top of your head. Like an example that I used last week was a, a, a want for me was getting a new suit. Working from home in a polo and shorts, I don't need it. But a need for me is having internet, because I can't work if I don't have internet.
So in the chat, we have a couple comments, a need being health insurance, something that's a want would be a designer bag. Another need would be groceries. A want would be more clothing. So we have so far. A need and a want would be car. That's an interesting one.
A car?
Yes.
Yeah, and I agree that could be both, because like the example that we had earlier of housing. So if you're living rural, then that's a need. But if you're living in a metro area and your job is a couple blocks away, then it turns into a want at that moment. But yeah, that's a great example.
So a need being Wi-Fi, a want being coffee shop trips. Definitely. We are a coffee driven nation, I think. Like the main example.
Awesome. I love it. Well, guess what? You all earned yourself $100. So add $100 back to your.
We need it.
Your budget.
We're over.
Okay, someone just teed this up. Transportation. We got some options there. You look at new car expenses, used car expenses. And one thing to look at when you look at a new opposed to used car, you have higher insurance, you have more maintenance costs. So, it's kind of they kind of offset each other. So you're looking at a used car, you're probably $100 less. But then look at the options too. You have public transportation, walking and biking. So those are some great options to consider. So let's think about it. And then we can get the Mercedes, the Beamers, and all that. That's about $1,000 a month. Or if you want to get a used one, you're looking $800. So you still be fancy. All right. Has everyone secured their transportation? All righty. But we've done all this. We found housing, clothing, furniture, but we haven't eaten yet. What are we going to do? Well, if we're all shopping for one person, I mean, you got the regular groceries that are non-organic, processed foods, or you can eat healthy and eat organic. Why does organic always cost more? It should be healthier, should be less, but decisions to make, decisions. Anyone got a part-time job yet? Okay, groceries, have we decided? Let's move on. Okay, one thing that we should always do is give back to the communities that we live in and help others. So think of ways that we can support our community. We can donate to community organizations, donate to youth, homeless shelter, or give the most valuable gift that is free and give your time. So think about how you want to contribute, and give me thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, we got one thumbs up. All right, let's move on. Okay, it's your birthday. It's your birthday, and you get $100. So everyone add $100 back to your coffer. That's awesome. Okay, we got to think about a personal hygiene, personal care. Ah, think about those other options that we get, the mani pedis, dry cleaning, and then you work so hard. Are you going to have somebody come clean your home for you? Have a maid that comes in? I think that's a nice service to have. The moderate plan, you get brush, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, cleaning supplies, nail polish, vitamins. All right. Is everyone taking care of their personal care with the mani pedis and the haircut? That's a good price for a haircut, I think. Okay. Now we've completed the 13 stations. So this is the part where we want everybody to look at the experience, and think about every decision that you've made, and tell me, or put in the chat box if you'd like to go back and revisit something, because we can make these adjustments because we went through our first month and we found that, hell, wow, I need to calibrate my spending so I can save more. So this is your time here. So if you want to revisit one of the slides or one of the areas that you want to just put in the chat box, or just speak out and say, hey, let's go back to, I need to realign my car. I need to get a new car, or swap out my car for a bike.
I think I'm over by like 2,500.
Whoa.
Unless I'm doing it wrong. Like, I was trying to write it out as we went along, but
Whoa.
is there
I think you might have set a record,
rooming
Kim.
with a friend option? Or like, can I defer? Can I put my student loans? Like, can I like, I forgot, words are escaping.
Defer it?
Yes. Can I have a break from those? And because that's, yeah, I'm real over.
Wow. Is there any screen that you want to go back to revisit?
Let's go. Maybe if we go to the beginning.
Okay.
If you can pop in the chat where you're at with your budget, that would be cool to see. I think the clothing one, although it makes sense, because if you think about it spread across a year, yeah, like it probably works out to being that much. I chose the thrift stores, which makes sense, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But $40 a month seems high, but then I think if you look at it over the whole year, it's probably pretty spot on. The housing, can we go back to the housing? I think I chose the cheapest option. You're over by 4,000.
4,000. Wow.
Yeah, this is really hard.
No, she's saying that she's all her expenses added up to $4,025.
Oh.
So she's just under her monthly.
Oh, wow. So
wow, that's pretty good.
Wrong. No, that's really good. That's really good.
And then we're gonna talk through some of this. So
I messed up, I guess, somewhere.
No, don't worry, Kim. I'm at 5,400.
I feel like I was
It's
really
okay.
frugal, but then again, I have 2 kids, so that might be where I messed up a bit, the money out of my soul. So
Did you choose the Manny or Nanny option?
no, I am frugal, like very cheap frugal. Secondhand furniture. The most expensive furniture in my house right now is like less than $500 because I've never bought anything new. I've always bought everything secondhand. So
Well, then one thing to look at, like if you don't buy anything new, or if you're transitioning using college furniture your first year or so, then the zero could be there because you borrowed or donated and you're not buying new furniture. Or
true.
yeah, so that might be an adjustment that we could make.
But Maria did really awesome. That's cool. And Sabrina too. That's so great.
Okay, any other
Over.
screens anyone else would like to see, or everybody's still tabulating?
Where did you have to make sacrifices? So like what sort of areas were you like, oh, I would want this, but I'm going to go ahead and choose this instead? So maybe Maria or Sabrina, if you want to comment.
I'm over, so I think I'm going to revisit my dining out options and maybe my grocery options.
And those are the ones that get us all. So groceries, that if you went organic, you can go to 330, but more than likely, this is the culprit.
Yeah.
So those daily coffees or
Convenience costs money.
yes.
Yep.
And I tell you, one thing that I started doing recently was meal prepping, and
Yeah.
that saves so much money doing it that way. And you really waste a lot less, because I would find myself, if I wanted to cook something tonight, I'll order from Whole Foods or Publix and cook for that night and then throw away whatever. Whereas now I meal prep, plan and cook for the whole week, so everything's ready and it's no waste and it's a lot less expensive to do it that way.
Yeah. I didn't have enough time to make my lunch yesterday, and I had an appointment this morning, and I literally went back to my house after so I could get my coffee and my lunch and prep my lunch and then come to work, because I was like, for a second I'm like, oh, I just buy lunch, whatever, and I'm like, no, like I have food, I'm gonna eat it.
Gonna stay on track. Awesome.
Yeah. So Maria was commenting definitely entertainment. That she had to change that, and that she scheduled herself a family vacation every month. That's awesome. That's really
Wow. Good job. And Sabrina, what did Sabrina also have come up way under as well?
Yeah, she was only over by $14, and she had to change a lot with had to make some adjustments with her car and housing categories.
Awesome. So, I mean, this time I really want to just hear from everybody and hear what were your reactions to the simulation. Did it open your eyes, or are these things that you expected, or what's your reaction to it?
Oh my God, overwhelming. I just did it for myself because I don't have kids, and I still went over. It's like, if I have kids, I'm screwed.
Oh yeah, me too. And I think for one big shocker to me was that we're looking at a yearly salary of almost $70,000, and there's a lot of families that they don't make that much per year, and I'm just in shock because I can't imagine what the sacrifices these people have to go through in order to make, not going over their take home salary. So I think that was like a huge shock to me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I understand my parents now when they say, no, we're not getting that tomato, we're getting the regular tomatoes.
Yeah.
For sure. When my mom was like, that gas station is 10 cents less than this one. You're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, and you think about it, every little bit counts. I mean, because I like Sabrina said, she had made that little calibration, and that was a difference from going over your budget to being within your budget. And you remember last week when I did the presentation, I said like 100 and well, a quarter of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck make over $150,000 a year. So you can easily see how we can get there going through this experience. What lessons did you learn from this activity? I mean, love to hear a couple of you share that.
That if there's a product that is 10 cents less, I am buying that product. So, and like when I buy meat or chicken, I always buy the least expensive one. Like if there's one that's like $8 and one that's $6, I buy the $6 pack.
I think this exercise showed me like what my priorities are. Like lately I've been wanting to buy organic foods like for my family. So that was a place where I didn't want to make that sacrifice. I would rather make the sacrifice on dining out.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a really helpful exercise to show me what my priorities are.
Yeah, I like that because you find out what's really important to you and your family, and then you can make those adjustments, and might compromise in one area. That's something that really turns into be more of a want than a need anyway, and you can prioritize your true needs. I like that. Love to hear from someone else.
In the chat, someone put, I'm keeping this PDF and checking it monthly so I don't go over. It definitely opened my eyes. It was like playing Monopoly.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. So that's a good strategy going forward. And I love to hear from someone else with a strategy. I mean, it can be something we talked about last week, or what strategy that you're going to employ, not only when you graduate, but starting now. Well,
I think
go ahead.
going back to what Michelle said, I think it's really learning your priorities and what you consider a need and what you consider a want, because that kind of helps you, like you said, like weed out the unnecessary expenses and really just focus on what you deem like necessary or worthy of your money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel about the unexpected expenses that were thrown at, like the hailstorm and things, and the forgetting your key and things like that? How did those things make you feel?
Yeah, that adds up. That adds up really quickly.
Yeah, I got a little frustrated at the moment, but at the same time, that's real life. It happens. So it made me see that emergency fund is important to have in place.
Perfect. I like that. So one more thing go ahead. Someone else had a comment.
Sorry, I was just gonna share like a personal experience where a friend of mine actually was driving on the highway and a rock hit his windshield, so he had to replace his entire windshield. And then a week later, he got into an accident and he had to replace his side mirror. And then a week later, like something else happened and he had to pay a bunch of money. And I was just like, I am so sorry. Like, it's just crazy the amount of curveballs that life can throw at you. And all of a sudden you go from, $500 to 15 in 5 seconds. It's crazy.
And since we're on the subject of money, I want to share a quick video with you all. I think it'd be a valuable resource for everyone. So let me pull this up.
It's amazing to me how much money is truly out there for students to go to college.
When you're trying to figure out how to pay for college, securing scholarships is the best place to start. Scholarships don't have to be paid back, and they can reduce the amount of money you have to earn or borrow while you're in college. We've asked real students who were able to add up small and large scholarship awards to cover their college costs to share their tips with you.
I think I applied my freshman year to maybe 10 scholarships, and I got 6 of them.
I would say in the end, I won about 10 to 15 different scholarships and collected about $200,000, $300,000 for college.
Honestly, I have probably applied for 75 scholarships, and I have been awarded probably 30 or more of those scholarships.
Step 1. Search for scholarships you may be eligible for. Write down all the activities, interests, and attributes that make you, well, you. Every year, every student should fill out the FAFSA, regardless of income, because it's the only way to potentially qualify for merit scholarships and grants. Many colleges require the FAFSA for their own financial aid programs. Trusted sites like TFS Scholarships are an awesome way to start learning what scholarships are out there. You can use the site to search for a list of scholarships matched just to you. It's at tuitionfundingsources.com. Step 2. Get your materials together so you have what you need to complete your scholarships. We're talking your report card, your personal essay, and your recommendation letters, plus the student aid report you got after completing the FAFSA.
When I was applying to scholarships, I had made a college resume of all the extracurriculars that I had done, different sports and academic achievements that I had been awarded, and that really helped lay out things in a structured form that could easily let me transfer it from one scholarship application to another.
Step 3. It's all about applying. Challenge yourself to set aside scholarship time every week. Keep trying and keep applying, starting in high school and going through every year of college until you graduate. Remember that scholarships aren't just for your first year.
Just because you don't get one scholarship doesn't mean that you're not going to get the next one. You just have to keep trying.
Step 4. This may sound like a no-brainer, but follow each scholarship's application instructions correctly. Even a small mistake could disqualify your application. Get your mom or your bestie or school counselor to help you review your applications before you send. It's all about the group effort.
I think one thing that people overlook is acceptance rate for scholarships are super deflated. And what I mean by that is there's actually a great number of candidates who apply with too long a word count of an essay, who apply and miss their teacher recommendation or forget one component.
Working to find and win scholarships paid off for Eric, Estefania, and Jonasia. Here's a recap of their top tips. Search for scholarships you may be eligible for. Get your materials together. Keep applying, starting in high school and going through every year of college until you graduate. Follow each scholarship's application instructions correctly. College Steps, brought to you by Wells Fargo.
Yes, I just wanted to share that great resource. I think I spoke.
That was a really cool video.
Yes. Yes, I really want to share that because it's just so easy to find additional funding for school. And tuition funding sources is just a great resource. And I've had students that reach out and say, hey, I found additional funds. And really the only thing that it takes is time. I know we spend so much time on social media. This is just a great resource to utilize to get additional funding. So I will pause there to see if there's any questions regarding anything that we've covered in the last two workshops, or if there's any questions regarding tuition sourcing funding.
I also put the link for the little QR code for the survey in the chat as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share valuable information and the resources that from Wells Fargo. And I really like the feedback that I've gotten from the experience, because it's good to have a experience where you can actually get the feel for what adulting will feel like, or what it will look like, and how to prepare yourself, because ultimately that's really what gets you through, is having a plan. And the resources we used this week and last week, the budget toolkit, I think that's a living document that all of us should use for as setting our financial goals, having action steps to get there. But I think that's the key, is just having things that we can visualize and have a roadmap for ourselves to be successful in life. And with that being said, I'll kick it back to you, Kim, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to share.
Well, thank you. This was awesome. It was really cool. I really like seeing all the different components that goes into this decision-making process. Somebody was commenting that Maria was commenting that she wishes this was a requirement for every class. That's awesome. Thank you again, Jeff, for taking us through this, and I'll turn it over to Sabrina.
Yeah, of course. And I just wanted to add to what Maria had said, that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we are working in the process of doing something with FIU to actually make a requirement or a class that will actually go over budgeting for students. Definitely, when I speak to some SGA officials on Wednesday, I can get more information about that. And yeah, like, I think for sure this needs to be something implemented to FIU. I think a lot of students would benefit from it, considering the amount of feedback and participation we've gotten from our past event as well as this one. I think that it would really be a game changer. And I just wanted to end and say that thank you to Jeff and Kimberly for working with me through this process and for being here today and doing this event. It was really a pleasure, and I'm super, super happy that students are getting something out of these events, and that in fact that they're taking these actual participation sheets and using it to reflect on their own life. So it really shows not just me, but for everyone else out there, that we're doing this for a reason, and we're doing this to help ourselves and also each other. So I'm really, really glad that you guys came out and participated this afternoon. And I thank you guys so much again for collaborating with SGA. And I hope that in the future we can have another collaboration.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck on your finals and on wrapping up the semester. And nice to see you all. We'll see you in the summer.
Thank you so much.
you.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Enjoy your time, Jeff.
Thank you.